Have you ever bought something way before you actually needed it, only to realize it expired before you even used it? That was me. Not so long ago, I realized I was about to lose hundreds of dollars on this ballistic dummy because it was expiring in 2 weeks. And as someone who loves to engineer and invent crazy things like this high-powered NERF blaster that shoots 10 darts per second, I've learned one thing the hard way. The perfect conditions never exist. So you either build with what you've got or you build nothing at all. Suddenly, I had a deadline. So the question became, what could I make quickly that could do some serious damage to this ballistic dummy? It has to be cheap, sharp, and something I could buy a bunch of in 2 weeks. And then it hit me. Pencils. Let's make a pencil sniper. So, in this video, I'm going to show you 1. How I built a working prototype from hardware store materials so you can do it too. 2. 3 engineering decisions that saved me days of reprinting. And 3. Whether this thing can actually destroy a ballistic dummy before time runs out. Well, first things first. We need to understand what actually makes a projectile launch. And the fastest way to understand that is to look at something that already works. The first thing that I can think of that can shoot, that's cheap, simple, and accessible in stores are NERF guns. These guys use air that's compressed by a spring and forced through a smaller gap to launch the projectile across the room. But how do we recreate something that's similar and only with hardware store parts? Surprisingly, all you need is some PVC pipe, a spring, super glue, O-rings, and a few bits of balsa wood. We're basically making a giant spring-loaded syringe. Seal off one end, let air escape through a tiny hole, and now you've got yourself a launcher. I cut the balsa wood with a box cutter to make the end cap, then made a plunger for more balsa. The plunger is the sliding back and forth piece, and I used a threaded rod to keep it straight while it moves. Next, I built a frame from aluminum bars. I added a brass barrel that are the same size as our pencils, and I attached a handle to the rod. And just like that, we've got a prototype.
This is engineering.
Prototypes don't need to look good, they just need to tell you what's wrong. And back when I was making the first iteration of the belt-fed blaster, I spent a lot of time in CAD designing a fancy feed and pusher mechanism, only to discover it didn't have enough juice to actually pull the dart belt through once I spent a week designing and printing it.
There's some skipping happening.
I should have just tested its viability before wasting all that time designing my expensive and elegant failure. And that's why we built this thing. So let's test it.
Right, ready? Got it? Okay. Pencil sniper. 3, 2.
Dang! Not only does this thing look like trash, but it shoots like trash too. What happened? Well, looks like what went wrong with the prototype was 1, the pencils were too heavy, 2, the hexagon shape of the pencils wasn't sealing in the air, and 3, the spring didn't deliver energy fast enough. So we'll make these 3 changes. Cut the pencil in half to reduce its weight, we'll switch to round pencils for a better air seal, and instead of a spring-powered plunger, let's go with compressed air, using a 40 Mac shell, which delivers a big blast of air all at once. Quick disclaimer, compressed air can be dangerous. Don't replicate this without proper safety precautions. The first 2 are low-hanging fruit that we can test right away.
Boom. That's progress. We're moving in the right direction.
And now that we've got our changes figured out, let's move on to CAD. We'll add our compressed air in there. And this time, I discovered a way to dramatically cut down the time required for a project. This is where I usually mess up. My wife always says,
"Prior planning prevents poor performance."
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
except I always do the opposite. I have a bad habit of designing a part, printing it, printing it again, fixing it again, and wasting days. This time, we're going to avoid that with CAD. How exactly do we do that? Well, rule number 1, clearance. 3D printers slightly over-extrude, and parts expand under pressure up to 1/3 of a millimeter, which means 3D printers make things slightly bigger. So, for every connecting part, I made sure I accounted for the increase in size, especially for screws and moving parts.
The fact that this sits in this cavity, you have to add clearance, right? Like, see that crack? Because if you didn't add that crack, it would be pressed too hard to get.
Okay, what about this?
You have to manually offset one of the sides because it's gonna print bigger than you expect.
Rule number 2, no collisions. Imagine stuffing too much stuff into your kitchen drawer and trying to get it to close. That's how I usually design. Print parts out and then see where they collide, and then remove the new CAD. Which means I have to make multiple iterations of each part. In the CAD software though, you can do a cross section of the gun and it will show you any overlapping parts. So, instead of printing out the whole thing, I just swept through the whole gun in the CAD to find any colliding parts, and wherever I found them, I cut them out before I ever had to print anything. And rule number 3, finish all parts before printing. Imagine planting a beautiful garden, then only to remember that you need to put a pathway in the middle of it. Now you've made double work for yourself because you didn't factor in the path when you planted your garden. And you gotta rip it up and redo it! This seems obvious, but it's something that I'm guilty of not doing. I used to design and print each part piece by piece and discover what I needed. But 1 hour in CAD can save 20 hours on the 3D printer. So, this time, I finalized everything first. Spending more time designing up front is like double checking directions before driving. You save far more time rather than fixing a wrong turn later. In my case, spending extra time in CAD saved me hours of reprinting and modifying parts down the road. And it's more than just 3D printing. It's a lesson about discipline and patience for me. That grind was another 5 days. And now, this thing looks ready to fire. Before we launch, let's see if it actually holds a seal. 3, 2, 1! Oh no! Looks like this thing is blowing smoke in every direction. But you know who wasn't blowing smoke? Me! I've got these HBM23 belt-fed blasters ready to give away to these lucky winners of the giveaway that I held almost 2 years ago. If you won one, the details are in the... It says over a year ago, but now it's been another year since I made the script. If you won one, follow the details in the description so I can send you your blaster. But what happened here though? Well, it looks like the gas is escaping through the cracks. We can fix this pencil sniper with some O-rings at the connection points. All we have to do is go in and edit the connection point pieces in the CAD and reprint them, which won't take too long, considering none of these are actually used in the frame of the gun. And with just 2 days left before the deadline, are you ready to watch it tear through this ballistic dummy and make history?
All right, ready?
We're finally set to ready, aim, fire! Flew right by his head. Let's try again. And again? And again? And again? And again? Come on! Nice! Finally, a direct hit! And it just bounced right off. Well, that's underwhelming. Normally, I call this a failure. The rushed timeline wasn't ideal. I bought something before I actually needed it and ignored it and only paid attention once the clock was already ticking. But despite the constraints, we still built something real. And I learned new techniques, discovered better workflows, and proved that progress doesn't require perfect conditions, just commitment. The final result wasn't exactly what I imagined, but the lessons from the process were absolutely worth it. The truth is, the conditions are almost never right to make your perfect project. If you wait for everything to line up, the project may never exist at all. And if you want to see us build the next bigger and better pencil blaster, subscribe to our channel. Hey.